Welcome back to Talk 1260 KTRC. You're listening to the Humanity Behind the Vanity. I'm Dr. Daniel Ronel. We just heard from Dr. Gabriel Roybal, Dr. Rita Dodge, and now we have Dr. Betsy Ronel.
The doctor of life.
I want to talk today about Dysport. Yeah, D-Y-S-P-O-R-T.
The new version of Botox, right?
Yes. It's actually been around for about 18 years.
Oh.
It's been in Europe since 1991, and it's been approved for aesthetic injectables, wrinkles and that, since 1991, I think.
Not here.
No,
there.
not 91, 2002, sorry, in Europe. And it's just now really coming to the United States and being marketed, and it's a competitor to Botox. It's the same molecule. It's still botulinum toxin, and I hate to use that word.
Yeah.
But it's packaged in a different way, and so the delivery method to the tissues is a little different.
How so? Because I love Botox.
Right.
God, I love it.
Nobody knows, it's proprietary, but the word on the street, and this is not from the manufacturer, but the word on the street is it acts faster and it lasts longer.
Well, didn't they say that like a year ago it was being touted as, okay, if Botox is wearing off for you, try Dysport.
Interesting point. Why would Botox be wearing off? People can develop antibodies to Botox.
Right.
That's never been quantified by the makers of Botox, because obviously they don't want to.
Right.
But it has been found in
I have
researchers.
found it in my own self.
So the makers of Dysport.
I still love Botox, but I have
Right.
found it in my own self. I'm not ragging on Botox at
Right,
all.
right.
No,
So anyway, the makers of Dysport actually studied this as part of getting FDA approval. So 1,500 patients they tested after 9 treatments, up to 9 treatments. Did they have antibodies? None. 0. So it appears that
from Botox?
from Dysport. You can't make antibodies to Dysport according to this study. Now, nobody's ever done a Botox Dysport head-to-head study. Nobody's ever done that.
I'm sure once Dysport gets its feet, grounded firmly, they will do something.
Yeah, there are studies out there, but the numbers aren't good and the study designs aren't good. But anyway, so apparently no antibodies to Dysport, which is good. And in their study, they also studied, well, how many people get the #1 side effect, which is a droopy brow, browtosis. If you give Dysport or Botox in between the brows, to treat those lines there, the 11s, as they say, one of the side effects can be a droopy brow. It goes away.
Yeah, I had it once.
It's not a big deal. Joan Rivers says, so what? It goes away.
Exactly. So what? It goes away.
So 1.6% of the people in the Dysport study got a droopy brow, and the Botox rate is like 3 to 5%.
I mean, it's not a frequent occurrence, and if it does, it is not permanent.
The point is, I think Dysport and Botox are pretty much equivalent. They work the same way.
Here's a question. What happens if you decide to alternate? Let's say I do my next treatment with Botox, with Dysport, because I've been doing Botox since I was 25.
Well, I'm sure the world of Santa Fe is going to hear about it, so why don't we do that next one with you?
Well, yeah, I want to try Dysport. I'm not betraying Botox. I love you. But I want to try it, because then I want to see which one...
Maybe the Botox works better next time.
Exactly. I want to see which one has a better effect on me.
There you go.
But here's how I brought this up to you this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw on some media outlet somewhere that teenage girls are getting Botox and Dysport.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I know probably maybe sweat glands was the only thing I could think of.
That's so funny you said that. I just was emailed, somebody asked me about that, to give a statement about that.
Yeah.
Teenagers and Botox. The reason it's in the media is that a couple of teenagers, I think one of them is a performer, has gotten Botox in their face, in their jaw muscles, to make them a little thinner, because they thought they had really sort of a wide face. And indeed, if you do have a wide face, that's because your masseter muscle, that's one of the chewing muscles, you can inject Botox.
The New York housewife Bethany Frankel, the one who's got her, she's the chef and she's got her new baby and her own show now, Bethany Getting Married, has a very wide jaw like that.
Well, I don't know if that's her muscle or just her, her bone. But anyway, so teenagers have always been getting Botox for
what?
armpits.
Oh,
That's
bits,
that's the
right.
number one
Bits.
place, and that's
Because
great.
what on earth does a child
stop
need
sweating.
Botox for? I mean, we all look great when we were younger.
Right. There is a myth that some teenagers are thinking, which is wrong, and we're trying to dispel this, that you can really prevent wrinkles from coming
God,
if
no.
you start Botox
No,
early. No. What you can do is once you have wrinkles and you give Botox, you use it every 4 to 6 months so the wrinkles don't come back. That's not really prevention. I mean, that's totally different from, a 15-year-old or an 18-year-old
Right,
saying,
that's
I never.
absurd.
Right. So,
If you have a kid asking you for Botox and they're under 25, I would say you need to send them to a therapist first.
well, they need to
Because that's
understand.
not
They
right.
Right. They need to just, a teenager probably isn't mature enough to understand what the side effects are, what could potentially happen.
And
So-
teenage girls will make up anything, oh, my eye has a wrinkle.
Right.
It happens to be a natural wrinkle.
Right.
I mean,
Probably the way they slept. But,
Right.
for armpits, it's fine. Hands and feet, it can be given there too. Certainly for medical reasons.
For sweat.
It's been giving for decades for eye muscle problems, or if you're a kid who's had a stroke or who's had that sort of problem, you can use Botox for that. But for
Right,
cosmetic
doesn't-
reasons, just because it's in the news doesn't mean that there's a trend coming. I don't
No,
really think
it
there's
wasn't
big
a trend. It was saying
It's just, it has happened.
people put it out there and they're like, well, what do people think about
Right,
this?
I don't-
think
right,
it's
it's not a good
absurd
idea.
for a vanity reason. If you want to control sweat, that's a very upsetting
Sure.
problem to people who have it. Yeah, so in the pits, the hands, and the feet, of course you're gonna
Right.
want to inject that, and that's totally appropriate for a teenager.
Right.
But goodness, children, you do not need Botox when you're, before you start
Right,
having a
before
wrinkle.
your prom, right?
Yeah, come
Right.
on.
Right.
Boobs I get, even lip injections I could understand for those, California girls or whatever, but
Right.
come
Rhino-
on.
Right. Rhinoplasties. for sure.
Rhinoplasty, right.
Yeah.
Right,
Breast reductions, these are things that are appropriate for teenagers. Breast reductions, if you have any symmetric breast, if you have if you need a rhinoplasty because
And
you have
that's
a
in a
very big
severe
dorsal hump.
case, right? I'm not just talking about a little crooked nose. Get over it and live with it because you
Right.
need to develop the inside first.
Right.
That's what people see. No matter how good you look outside, all they see is the inside. So if you're rotten inside, they're not going to see how pretty you are. But if you are good inside, no matter what you look like, you'll be beautiful to everybody.
There you go.
Ain't that the truth?
There you go.
Anyway, all right,
Well,
so
thanks for listening. We're going to wrap it up.
yeah,
There you go.
we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, if you want more information, my phone number is 988-8886. You can find us on the web, danielronelmd.com.
That's it.
And that's it. Thanks to our sponsors, Suniva Medical. We'll be back next week.